Good evening, everybody. This is Himani Gupta. I am presenting a seminar today on some topics of web analytics, appropriate according to my knowledge and sources available to me, which include these topics. So first we will look at Google AdWords. Then we will learn about AdWords linking. Then we have Google AdSense and linking, AdWords campaign and tracking, then attribution models. After that, we have a topic on segmentation. And lastly, we will learn about multi-channel attribution. So let's start. So firstly, let's have a look on first topic, that is Google AdWords. Or in simple terms, we can call Google Ads, which we daily see in our day-to-day activities. So understanding Google AdWords. So what are these? If we want to promote our website or let's say our business online, then there comes the use of Google AdWords. So it's basically a service that lets us create the text or image ads and display those ads on Google search result pages or and also on the third party websites. So for this, we have to basically start an ad campaign with the help of linking of the Google AdWords and Google Analytics. So when we have started a campaign, each campaign, we have to specify the amount of money we are willing to spend and the duration of the campaign. According to our budget, we can set that we can set particular campaigns and start them according to the your requirements, and we can also set the duration of the campaigns. Then we need to create multiple ad groups for that campaign. Then each ad group is centered on one or more keywords that we have to purchase in the starting when we are creating a particular campaign. Then within each ad group, we will create one or more advertisements to run when those keywords are triggered by the user. So let's look at an example of that clearly explains AdWords. So let us say we are having a company, or we are an owner of a company which sells acne products, and your visitors search for keywords like help get rid of acne. Suppose we have a set of customers who are suffering from this problem of acne and they want to get rid of it. Then what they will do, they will search on Google, and what headline we have to choose for our ad, that we want according to search engine optimization, that it should come at the top so that we get most views or our product gets sold more comparatively to others. So what we will say, your headline should not ask prospects if they are dealing with acne. You already know that they are. Instead, you should speak to their end goal. Means we have to fulfill the goal which they are looking for. I mean, keyword examples can be like kill acne once and for all. So this is an example which explains the use of AdWords. So these are basically the keywords which we are using to promote our advertisements so that we get most views on our website or on our products. So next we have how to link the Google AdWords to Google Analytics. Although Google AdWords offer their own tracking facility, but we can also track the AdWord performance in Google Analytics, as already explained by Tanvi, that how we can create a Google Analytics account and how we can see various tools there, we can use them to track and all that. So by linking your AdWords account to your Google Analytics, you can also track how our ads are performing. Like we have started a campaign and we have to see that whether our ad is coming in the optimization or not. So what we have to do for this, firstly, we will sign into our Google AdWords account at adwords.google.com. Then we select the reporting tab and then select Google Analytics. So when next page appears, we have to select I already have a Google Analytics account. Then we click continue. So you can see this here. See, this is a Google AdWords account. Suppose you have, then we have to go here, the reporting tab. Under this, we are seeing the link to existing account on Google Analytics. So we have to choose our website from this existing Google Analytics account. We have to choose it from this pull down menu. Then we have to select this checkbox destination URL auto tagging so that our ad gets displayed on the destination URL. And after that, we have to click on this link my account button. which is available at the end. So in this way, we can link our Google AdWords account to Google Analytics account. So see this, we have to select our Google Analytics account from pull down list. Then we have to make sure the destination URL auto tagging option is selected. Then we have to click the link my account button. When the confirmation window appears, we click yes and continue. So your AdWords data will now appear in the Google Analytics. So next we have Google AdSense. So what is Google AdSense? Suppose we want our website to generate revenue also. Suppose we are allowing some set of advertisers to display their ads on our website, then we have to then we want to earn through that also. Then this there comes the use of Google AdSense. Since we are not in the business of selling an ad space, we need to partner with an advertising network that brokers the space between advertisers and the host websites. What that means, that this Google AdSense, it creates a space between the advertisers and the host websites. So this space, that network, that ad network, it is called as Google AdSense. So what it will do, it will place ads on your website, then sell those ads to interested advertisers and split the advertising revenue with you. Means we get a share out of the revenue which Google is earning, and which we will earn because the ads are displaying on our website. So largest such ad network is Google AdSense. So AdSense network places pay per click text and image ads on our web pages. So as soon as user clicks the web advertisement, we get a revenue accordingly. So how we can link our Google AdSense account with Google Analytics, because we want to see how our website is performing, or even if we are an advertiser, how our ad is performing. So everything can be done by linking this AdSense account with Google Analytics. So first we go to the Google AdSense website and then sign into our account. From this AdSense dashboard, we select the reports tab, then the overview tab, then we go to our Google Analytics account, we select our account, and then we click the continue button to proceed. So next, let's see what is an AdSense overview. See, this figure clearly depicts the AdSense overview. For this, to understand this, we have to learn about some terms like AdSense revenue, like the money we are earning, then AdSense revenue per thousand visits, then AdSense ad clicks, then AdSense ad clicks per visit, then AdSense CTR, AdSense eCPM, AdSense unit impressions, AdSense unit impressions per visit, then AdSense page impressions. Then lastly, we have AdSense page impressions per visit. So let's understand these terms in detail. Like first we have AdSense revenue. It means the revenue generated. So if it is per thousand visits, that it means the revenue generated per thousand user visits. So what it tells us, it's a good way to compare the revenue between the sites or pages with varying traffic levels. Like when traffic is more, then how much revenue we are generating, and according to the number of visits, how much revenue we have generated. So like this, here it is showing the AdSense revenue. Then it is showing AdSense revenue per thousand visits. Then thirdly, we have AdSense ads clicked, which tracks the total number of clicks on AdSense ads by site visitors. Means the ads which were advertised through AdSense network, then it will track the total number of clicks by the site visitors, that how many visitors clicked on our ads that are available on our website. So it is showing it here. Like here it is showing the 20 AdSense ad clicks. Means through AdSense, which ads we were giving, those are how many times they were clicked. So next we have AdSense ads clicked per visit, like number of clicks per customer visit. We can also see that. So it is a good metric for estimating how your total clicks might increase if we were to increase the site traffic. Like if we can decide how much traffic should come on our website, then we can set it accordingly, and then we can analyze also that if we are increasing the site traffic, that how many clicks are occurring, and if we are decreasing it, how many clicks are occurring. So that is basically these are the measures which we can used to generate revenue or analyze how our ads are performing, how our websites are performing, and these are helpful in business marketing, basically. So business marketers, they use these tools for analyzing that how their products are performing in websites and all that. So next we have AdSense CTR. It calculates the click-through rate for the ads on your site. Like it is showing it here, AdSense CTR. So it is the click-through rate, means at what rate clicks are coming on your website on the ads which are displaying on the website. So next we have AdSense eCPM. It calculates the effective cost per thousand impressions, like your estimated earnings for every thousand impressions, how much earning we are having, the effective cost, like how much money we invested and how much profit we are earning. So it will tell you that. AdSense eCPM, like here. Next we have AdSense unit impressions. It is also a very useful metric that tracks the number of times ad units are shown on your website. Like we can decide that also, and we can also analyze that how many times an particular ad is displaying on our website. Next, we have AdSense unit impressions per visit. It tracks the number of times ad units are shown per customer visit. Like we suppose two customers are visiting our website at a time, and then it will show that how many times during their visit the ad was displayed. So next we have AdSense page impressions. It tracks the total number of pages viewed by the site visitors. That also includes the AdSense ads. Suppose we are visiting a website, like we visit Amazon.com. Then we click on different things at that page. Suppose firstly we are looking for some electronic gadgets, then we are searching for some books, and during that some ads are also being displayed on the particular website. Then according to that, it will see the page impressions, that is total number of page views viewed by a particular visitor. So then we have AdSense page impressions per visit. It will measure the number of pages viewed per customer visit, like for a particular customer how many pages he viewed. So that is being displayed here. So this figure, it clearly explains the AdSense overview and how we can understand it, and how we can decide that how much revenue we are earning, how we can increase it, how we can manage all the promotions which are coming on our website, or particularly the products which we are displaying on our website, we can also manage those. So next we have AdWords campaign. Like I told you earlier, for giving a particular ad, like suppose we are having a furniture company, then we are selling chairs, we are also selling tables, then we have to choose different ad campaigns for each of its products. So it's in company's discretion that what it wants to do. Like for different products it can create different ads. So suppose it creates different ads for chairs and different for tables, then it will have to create firstly an ad campaign if it wants to promote it online. So AdWords campaign is an ad campaign within an AdWords account. So within our AdWords account only, we have this particular option of AdWords campaign. It is composed of several ad groups. So we are grouping inside it. Each ad group serves different ad text, because we have included different ad text, like how we want to display our ad into different groups based on the type of keywords which we want to display into Google search engine. Like common ad campaign groupings include based on geography, device segmentation, and product type. Like what type of product we have. Accordingly, we will choose a keyword. Then we will make a text out of it. Then we will group it into different ad groups. And these ad groups are further included in AdWords campaign. Like this figure, it explains this. We have firstly we have an AdWords account. Then we have different campaigns under this account, like campaign 1, then we have campaign 2, then we have different groupings under it. Then different ad groups have different keywords related to ad A, related to ad B. So like this we have to create a campaign. In order to promote our product effectively, we can use this ad campaign tool. So how to track a campaign? Campaign tracking refers to a method of identifying how users discover our website. Specifically, we use campaign tracking in Google Analytics to accurately track online advertising companies to your website, both from Google Ads as well as from other advertising sources. So, how are users discovering our website? How they are reaching to our website? What are the different conversions which are leading to our website being displayed on user search page, and how he's reacting to it, how he's reaching that. So what are the different tools which are uh, helpful in making our website discoverable, because that is our ultimate goal, to promote our website in the search engine optimization, I mean to say that we have to create a set of keywords which should come in the top search of the user, so that your website works better than others. So that is campaign tracking. So like here we can see, this is an AdWords campaign page. Here we see that there are three different types of campaigns. Like we have music books, then a second is untitled, and we have music theory. Here we can see the number of visits which are generated in the music books campaign. Then we can see pages per visit. Then we have average time on the site spent. Then we have percentage of new visitors, like daily it will change that today two new visitors visited your website, so it will show here. Then we have the bounce rate. So like this we have AdWords campaign overview. So we can see different that how particular campaign is performing. Like this campaign is having more visits than this is not having any visitors. So like this we can track our performance on particular campaign. So like we can also decide that we have to start a new campaign, or we have to continue as we are performing, if we are performing according to our requirements. So next we have the attribution models. So what is attribution model? It is a framework basically for analyzing which touch points or marketing channels receive the credit for a conversion. So what is a conversion? Basically, conversion is the click which causes our advertisement to be a successful one. So that is called a conversion. So basically, what is attribution modeling? It is a framework which analyzes that which touch points or marketing channels were most helpful for our website. So this attribution model, it distributes the value of a conversion across each touch point differently. Like using these models we can give the credit, like particular we have chosen a marketing channel for our website, then we can see its performance, and we can, after that we are giving credit, like this marketing channel performed best for us. So that is basically, these are the attribution models. A model comparison tool allows you to analyze how each model distributes the value of a conversion. So we have a tool for it, according to which we can decide that how we want to distribute the value of a conversion. Like here we have different attribution model types. Firstly, we have last click model. What it will do? It will give all the credit for the conversion, like the click which was successful in leading the user to your website, to the last clicked ad and the corresponding keyword. So it will give all the credit to the last click which led to your website or advertisement, and what was the corresponding keyword for that. So it will give all of the credit to the last click. So in next we have the first click model. What it will do? It will give all the credit for the conversion to the first clicked ad and the corresponding keyword. Like if a user is coming to your website through particular ad, so the ad which appeared first, and it will give all the credit to that ad. Then thirdly, we have the linear distribution. In this, it is the conversion is equally credited. Like it distributes the credit for the conversion equally across all the ad interactions on the path. Like there's a path, how a user comes to your website. Firstly, he clicked on some other website, then he saw the ad of your website on that particular website. Then it will follow that path to your website. So it involves different channels. So this is linear distribution. It will distribute the credit equally to each conversion. Next, we have the time decay model. It gives more credit to the ad interactions that happened closer in time to the conversion. In other words, we can say an ad interaction 8 days before a conversion gets half as much credit as an ad interaction 1 day before a conversion, because time has decayed from 8 to 1. So it will assign the credit according to the time. Like the interaction, ad interaction which was done a day before, with it will give more credit to that ad. Next, we have the position based model of attribution. Here we can see gives 40% of credit to both the first and the last ad interactions and the corresponding keywords, within the remaining 20% spreading out across the other ad interactions on the path. Like it gives 40% credit to the first ad, then it gives 40% credit to the last ad and the corresponding keywords which user typed to reach up to that ad. Then the remaining 20% is spread out across the other ad interactions which he encounters on the path that is leading him to your website finally. So next we have the data driven distribution. What it will do, it will distribute credit for the conversion based on your past data for this conversion action. Like it's different from other models. In this, it uses your accounts data to calculate the actual contribution of each interaction across the conversion path. So it is the final distribution model. It is a data driven. It will take average of all the models and it will display the attribution according to the whole of the data present on your website for a particular period of time. So we can see with the help of an example also. So there's an example. Suppose we are having a restaurant name, Restaurant Abigail in Tuscany in Florence city of Italy. So suppose a customer finds your website by clicking on your ads after performing each of these searches. So what he can basically perform, like in general, if we see, he can type restaurant Tuscany, or if he types restaurant Florence, then thirdly, he can also type 3-star restaurant Florence, then 3-star restaurant Abigail Florence. So this makes a reservation for clicking on your ad that appeared with 3-star restaurant Abigail Florence. So in the last click attribution model, what will happen? The last keyword, this one, the 3-star restaurant Abigail Florence, it will receive the 100% credit for the conversion. Like in the analysis overview, we will see that 100% credit will be given to this last typed keyword, that is 3-star restaurant Abigail Florence. So in the same example, we can see in the first click attribution model what will happen. This the first typed search, that is restaurant Tuscany, it would receive 100% credit for the conversion. Then in linear attribution model, each keyword would share equal credit. Like we have here 1, 2, 3, and 4 keywords. So 25% credit is given to each keyword. So this is the linear attribution model. Then we have the time decay attribution model. Like I explained earlier, time decay attribution according to the time, like last clicked, prior to 1 day, it will give more credit. The keyword 3-star restaurant Abigail Florence will receive the most credit because it was searched closest to the conversion. Closest to the conversion here means that the click which led directly to your website. So the time decay attribution model, it will give all the credit, most of the credit to this last keyword type, that is 3-star restaurant Abigail Florence. So next we have the position based attribution model. Like restaurant Tuscany and 3-star restaurant Abigail Florence would each receive 40% credit, while restaurant Florence and 3-star restaurant Florence would each receive 10% credit. So according to the position. Next, in the data driven, that is the final attribution model, each keyword would receive part of the credit depending on how much it contributed. So this is the summary of all models we can get in this data driven attribution model, because it actually gives the credit according to the performance of the particular conversion. So next, we also have a topic called segmentation. What is a segmentation? Segment is a subset of your analytics data. So it is basically a portion uh, of your analytics data. For example, we have a set of users. Of your entire set of users, one segment might be users from a particular country or city. Another segment might be users who purchase a particular line of products or who visit a specific part of your website. So we can analyze user behavior from this segmentation tool. What does it do? It lets you isolate and analyze those subsets of data so that we can examine and respond to the component trends in our business. So once we have analyzed the segmentation, like which set of users are mostly liking your website, so then accordingly we can set the trends of our business, like we have to improve something or we have to uh, change something in our website. So, for example, if we find that users from a particular geographic region are no longer purchasing a line of products in the same volume as they normally have done earlier, like you some set of users were constantly buying products from a website, but now it has changed, their behavior has changed, they are not buying like before. So what it tells us, it tells us that a competing business is offering the same type of products at lower prices. So in this case we have to analyze our products rate and all that. If that turned out to be the case, we could respond by offering a loyalty discount. Then what we will do, we will offer discount on on our product, so that our users which are no longer buying from our website, they can come back to us. So this undercuts your competitors prices. So big business model, they use these tools in order to improve their business, in order to compete with each other. So these are the some segment types. Like a segment is made up of one or more non-destructive filters. Filters that do not alter the underlying data. Like underlying data will not be altered. Only a segment is made up of one or more non-destructive filters. But these filters, they isolate a subset of users, sessions, and hits. So we have the different segment types. Like first we have subsets of users. For example, the users who have previously purchased, users who added items to their shopping carts, but they did not complete a purchase. We do this daily, like suppose we are buying something from Amazon, then we like a product, then we add it to our cart, then we decide that we will buy it later on. So this is called as subset of users. So in this segmentation we can know what type of subsets we are having. Like then we have subsets of sessions. For example, all sessions originating from campaign A or B, or all the sessions during which a purchase occurred. So that is a different subset. It will segment the data into different subsets. In subset of users, then subset of sessions, then we have subsets of hits. In subset of hits, we can see all hits in which revenue was greater than rupees 500. Like this is an example. We can also segment the data which gave us more revenue than others. So that will it will segment it into subsets of hits. So this is all about segmentation. Then we have next topic is multi-channel attribution. What is multi-channel attribution? Attribution models we have already understood. So multi-channel attribution, it is a set of rules that assigns the credit for sales and revenue to the touch points across the customer journey. Like see this figure, customer clicked on first ad, then lead was created, then opportunity was created, then the sale was closed. So this is a path which leads a customer to the sale close. So this is a multi-channel attribution, like what channels we are having that are leading to our website to that. So it is basically, these are the set of rules that will assign credit accordingly. So what is a touch point? It is the information on a point of engagement that describes who, what, when, and where. It's lot like point of sales information, which describes the who, what, when, and where of a purchase. These are the data tables with each row being a touch point and each column having information describing that touch point, like the person, the opportunity, the content, the web page, the form, the location, time, campaign, and revenue value associated with that. So these are all touch points. Multi-channel attribution has to do with the last part, that is the revenue, like which touch point led us to the revenue generation, so that we can know according to multi-channel attribution. Multi-channel attribution, it is the rules and methods used to assign value across multiple channels and touch points. Revenue amount is typically the value that is assigned to the touch points. So amount is distributed to all the touch points according to the attribution model, which we have already seen. Like this is an example of a linear attribution model. See, here it has given the equal credit to each channel which has led to our sale closing. It simply credits each touch point with conversions or revenue equally across the customer journey. Next, we can see the time decay attribution model. Here it gives the more revenue or conversion credit to the touch points that have happened closer to a closed deal. Like here, we can see first touch is given less credit because it was a time before the customer closed the sale from a particular website. Then we can see lead creation is having a more credit than first touch. Then we have opportunity creation. What are lead creation and opportunity creation? Basically, the clicks which have led to the creation of the lead or which led to an opportunity creation that can that can be helpful in closing of a sale. Then finally a customer closes the sale, then more credit is given to the opportunity creation than first touch and lead creation, because it is a time decay attribution model. So next we have the position based attribution model. This is an example of position based model. Here we can see based on position, it gives more revenue credit to certain positions. By position, we mean stages of the buying journey. So the stages we encounter in our buying journey, according to the position, it will give the credit. Like here, first touch is given 30% credit, then a time lapse is there, then credit decreases, then again credit increases because lead creation is there, then again according to the change of position the credit is decreasing, then again it is increasing in opportunity creation, and finally we have a closed deal. So these are the different attribution models, and multi-channel attribution lets us analyze our business performance. So these are some of the references which I have used for making my presentation.